Hey, my name is Dr. Bagley. Thank you very much for joining me. Today, I want to talk to you about the man's perspective of a relationship. Okay? This is a request for somebody who would like for me to publicly talk about this. And so I have some time. It's snowing outside and I got some time. And so let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay. Right away, I know what I'm about to say is going to conflict a lot of Americans' ideas, American and Europeans' ideas of the independent woman. But I think a lot of you ladies really got it, or I shouldn't say got it, you really don't have it. And there's some things that's going on in your life, and I'm hopefully using this as an example, as a platform of why and how the reasons that things are going the way it is, and give you some pointers, again, from a man's point of view. Give you some man's point of view of what you could do a little different to help your own self. Okay? I know it's rough because I'm just trying to stay politically correct. All right, so let's break it down. And I have my book here, and so we're going to keep it nice and orderly. And so if you have notes, you want to take notes, go ahead and do what you need to do. Okay, first thing is let's understand age group. From 10 to 18, the 10 to 18 kids are always looking at their parents. Every 10-year-old is a mama's boy, and by definition, what he's looking at is everything she's doing and determining the type of woman ultimately that he will be comfortable with in his own life. So from 10 to 18, the younger he gets into that, he's looking at examples from video, from wherever, and he's getting an idea of where and how women should behave, look, and so on and so forth. From 18 to 30, he's very hormonal, and so in this stage of 18 to 30, I wouldn't get in a relationship with a guy between that age, even though in his mind he knows he's an adult male, he's a man now. But there is a difference between the idea of age and title and definition. I don't think an 18 to 30-year-old will understand or know what a man is, what a husband is, and what a father is by definition. And if they do understand it, then, again, there's always an exception to the rule. Okay. From 18 to 30, he's very hormonal. Okay. He's not going to be committed. There's no commitment. There is no thought of commitment. And if there is a thought of commitment, it's a thought of commitment without definition. And that's not a recipe for a long-term relationship. And in this stage, from 18 to 30, this is where a lot of guys want a relationship without the definition of all these things. And so therefore, he's going to get his heart crushed. And in this process, from 30 to 55, let me say this, there's no scientific numbering system I'm pulling this data from. I'm just giving you a rough estimate. From 30 to 80, his hormones starts to taper, and being tapered, he then can start to think with his right mind. And in this right mind, he's going to be focused on finances. He's going to be focused on what a man is, what a husband is, and what a father is. It's not that he needs the definition. More likely, he's really focused on understanding these definitions. And from 30 to 55, that's all he is about. And he will not be committed to any woman outside of finding those answers. First, financial, what a man is, what a father is, what a husband is. He has an idea. He's going to try some things. He's going to see what works and what doesn't work, and he's learning through the process from 30 to 55. Okay. When a guy gets to 55, he's getting to a point right now where all he wants is happiness. He wants relaxation. He wants to retire, and he wants to retire with someone. And if he doesn't have a value in a woman, and we'll get into that in a second, but if he doesn't have a value in a woman, then he will be one alone, or he will go younger, because younger is value to a 55 and older, because he is value. And so he's looking for value. And so we'll get into that in a second, but just keep this in mind, ladies. The older the guy gets, 30, he's okay. 40, he's okay. 50, 55, 60, he's valuable to a woman, because he brings security, he brings psychological, he brings academics, he brings spiritual, he brings all of these things to the table. And so he's valuable to any woman from 13 or 12 or 13 all the way up. Okay, keep that in mind. So you understand these things. A younger kid, a boy from 10 years old, he's a mama's boy. He grows out of being a mama's boy. He then tries to become a man without the definitions. From 30, because he's hormonal, he's just going to go through some things, get his heart crushed, use women, so on and so forth, because of the hormones. 30, the hormones start to taper off. And from 30, he starts to find himself. He wants to find himself in a financial position, a man's position, husband's position, and a father's position. He's going to learn it all the way up until he gets into his 50, 55 range. And then from there, he got it. He got all he's going to get, and he realizes this. And then he also realizes he's now more valuable because he got it. And then once he gets it, then he doesn't need a woman of his age or a little younger. He can go real young. And because, again, that's just where it is, and we'll get more in depth into that later. Okay, now that I set that up, that's the foundation of a man. How do we think when it comes to a relationship? Okay, first, step number one, ladies. First thing we look at is a visual. We are visual creatures. And you're presenting yourself in a visual position when it comes to social medias, all these different types of social medias. And in this process, I want to give you some ideas about certain things. If you look sexy and you don't have kids and you look sexy, every man that you have attracted to you, all he cares about is sex. I don't care who he is, how he is, where he is. If you present yourself sexy, he only wants sex, period. If you have a child and your child looks like a scrub while you got your hair fixed, your eyes fixed, your makeup fixed, your nails fixed, and you looking sexy, no good man in this face of the earth will ever give you a chance. Therefore, every guy that's attracted to you, all he wants to do is use you. Keep in mind, from 30 to 55, there is no commitment. Zero commitment. He's going to use you. He's going to be with you. If you don't enhance him, he's going to really use you, and so on. Okay. And if you go from younger, 18 to 30, he really is going to use you, because all he is hormonal. Okay. So if you're single, you look sexy. If you're with a child and your child looks like it's a scrub and you're trying to look good, no good man is ever going to talk to neither one of you. Now, how do you present yourself? If you're single with no child, look elegant, sophisticated, look presentable. And if you don't have no idea what that means, I'll break from here, insert some pictures, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? If you have a child or children, your children should look presentable, equal to you. Okay? If your children looks presentable, I'm not talking about spoiling them with all of this crap. I'm talking about presentable. He or she, the kids, have nice, decent clothes, and you're looking decent. Yes, you look presentable. And you're not too sexy, because see, women are sexy regardless. We just don't want to look sexy. Okay, I'll explain in a second. But if you look presentable, your kids look presentable, and if you don't have kids and you're sophisticated and elegant, every good man is looking at you within the realm of your social media. Also, those other players, they're looking at you too. Okay. It's hard to determine which one is which without actually talking to another brother, right? To determine his motive, okay? But his motive ultimately is he's like a dog. He's a follower. Okay, he's a follower, and I'll let me explain that in a second. Okay. So the first stage is you have to present yourself, present what you have, you and your kids, present that. If you take a picture and the background of your picture looks like crap, no good man is ever going to talk to you, because we figure that if your room looks like crap, you're going to make our houses look like crap. No good guy is going to look at a woman and she's presenting herself with alcohol all the time. Not going to happen. Not to say you can't drink. We don't care about alcohol like that. And it's not like I don't drink. I drink. Everyone knows I drink. But you don't see me around bars and clubs and blah, blah, blah. Okay. All of this that I'm just now talking about image, about representation, is the fact that when a man, a good man, I'm not talking about those players, a good man, we want a woman that if she was sitting right next to me, she represents me and I represent her. We are a couple, and a man who is a visual creature, he's imagining that ideal of his woman being equal to him. If you look at every movie, in a romantic type movie, if you look at every romantic movie that's out there, and a man and a woman that comes together, I guarantee you the image of how he looks and how she looks matches. If a man wants a woman by his side and she is sexy, she is a what we call trophy girl, woman, whatever you want to call it. She's being used. He's paying for her services. A trophy girl is another word for prostitution. If he's with a woman and she's looking all of that, I'm not saying she's not a good girl. I'm saying 9 out of 10 times a good man would not want that type of woman publicly. Okay. And so you have guys who do have a woman publicly, and then you have a woman that's not so public. We'll get to that in a second. So let's look at number two. Number two. So the first one, of course, is all about identity. It's all about imagery. It's about self. How are you presenting yourself? Okay, because he's looking. Okay, number two. Number two is broken down in A, B, and C positions. Okay, number two is, the first thing is you're talking to a guy. You finally get into that first introduction, and you want to have some couple of meetings with him, and everything seems to go okay so far. This is what I want you to do, ladies. Write this down. I want you to tell him all of your problems. I want you to tell him, I need help in this position. I need help with my kids because they're running around and I don't know what the hell to do with that little boy. I need help financially. I need help with a certain lifestyle that I'm trying to achieve. I need help in all of that. Now, I know, I've been in America most of my life. I know that is going to be extremely hard for an independent woman because she just don't get it. A man wants to have value. His value comes in the place of finding where he can help you. If you find a man and you have no need for it to help, what good is he there for you for? He's going to use you. But if you have a man and you say, I need help in this arena in finances, I need help raising these kids, I need help with this, and this, okay. The part B is, you'll have a man, if he's able and willing and able to handle that, he will say, I got you. He'll say, not a problem. We can work this out. If he says anything like that, I got you, we can work this out, anything like that, I do not want you to say thank you. We do not want to hear thank you. If we hear anything, if we hear a thank you, we automatically know we're going to use you, period. What we want to hear is part C. We want to hear what you're giving us in return. Now, let me give you some examples. You're telling me you need some help in finances, you need help in your kids. Number two, B, I say, I got you, not a problem. The C is, I want you to tell him what you're going to do. We're going to argue, we're going to fuss, but I'll let you have the last word. We're going to do X, Y, and Z, but I'll let you have the last word. I'll let you help discipline my kids. And I may not understand it or I may not want to like it the way you do it, but I won't embarrass you in front of the kids. But we're going to talk about it. And after we talk about it, I may not agree with you, but I'll let you have the last word. If you say that to a man, that is going to lock you down. You don't need to ask, are we boyfriend and girlfriend? You don't need to ask, are we getting married? If he's doing that. Okay, so that's A, give him some help. I need help. B, he says, I got you. So find the right one who says, I got you. And then C, let him know what you are giving back to him. I have the simplest terms, the easiest thing. Let him have the last word. And again, we'll get into why that's important in a second. Okay. After you establish that, do not do nothing. Don't have sex. Don't believe him. Don't do nothing. Okay? Okay. How? Because he has to take first step. He has to go first. He has to present first. Okay? In the negotiating, you told him what I need. He says, I got you. You said, in return, I'm going to let you have the last word. And okay, that's established. We have an establishment. What's next? He has to take lead. What does that mean? Take lead. What that means is, so let's go back to the example. Okay, you have a child, you have a son, and so in this thing we talking, okay, and he says, what I want you to do is, I got some time next week. I want you to have your son ready. I want him to hang out with me all day. He's going to hang out with me. Call the school, let him know he's not coming. I'm going to pick him up. He's going to hang out with me. That's first step. That's done. If he says, okay, I got you, and he agrees to what you're, and he gives you a little money, done. That's first step. If he takes first step, you have to uphold your agreement. Now, if you don't have an agreement, you don't have a relationship. If you have an agreement, your agreement will be non and void if you go behind his back and you start to look sexy again, publicly. Your agreement non and void if you pull out that independent, I don't need a man bull crap. It's non and void if you don't work with him. Okay? Non and void. As soon as, and this is where you don't understand, ladies. He's an obligated kind of guy. So if he says he's going to do what he says he's going to do, and you mess up, like look too sexy in social media, and you don't give a crap, you lost him. He's not thinking about leaving. He's planning on leaving. But some guys are just obligated to their word. But other guys, they'll be like, forget that. I'm done. Go on. And they will leave. Okay? So you have to uphold your part of the deal. You have to uphold your agreement to what you're going to give him. And I simply say the last word. And again, I'll explain in a second. But then in that context, if he does it, if he takes first step, you got to honor that. Okay? All right. Now, that by itself is just how you truly get a man. That's how you truly get a man. The other crap about sexuality, you're getting a man, right? You're getting used. That's what you're getting. And you think you're in control. No, you're just picking out of all those who just want sex, you're picking the best one for you, and they're going to have relations with you for as long as you're offering it. But they're not committed. 30 to 55, not committed. That's what you got to understand these things. Okay. Number 3, you have to bring value now. Number 2 is all about respect. Number 3 is now where the value comes in. And ladies, let me help you out. There's no value in your body. There's no value in your body. You can go to the gym or not go to the gym. I mean, in context, let's keep it real. If you're not healthy, you need to do what you need to do for health purposes. Every man, I believe, has an understanding. If you're needing healthy, it's a healthy issue. He probably too needs a health issue working with you. Okay. But if you go out and use your body and you say, I'm going to the gym to make sure I look good in competing with these other women, you're wasting your damn time. From 30 to 55, you're wasting your time. I don't care if that man looks at you and you're a big girl, he may like big girls. If you're a skinny girl, he may like skinny girls. From a big girl to a skinny girl, you have about 5 to 10 guys chasing after you. Why they chasing after you is a different story. but you got 5 to 10 guys chasing after you. So it's not about your body. It's about other things, value. So let me give you an idea of what value looks like. Okay. That's 2 women married. They go to church. Let's use church as an example. First woman goes to church, has a good time, comes home, say, "Hey, honey, had a good time. You should have came. You should have been there. Everybody's looking for you. Everything. You know why you're just sitting here watching football. You're just that okay? Innocent. She spoke her mind. There was nothing harassing about that. It was innocent. She spoke her mind. Okay, nothing wrong. Okay, he'll listen, but don't listen. Here's the other woman. Church. She calls the sisters up. Say, "Hey, sister, I'm not going to church today. I got to take care of my man today. Tell everybody I say hi. We'll get together on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, and we'll catch up then. But today, I'm going to stay here and take care of my man. Okay? I know. Goodbye." And then what she does is, football comes on. She goes in the kitchen, makes him some sandwiches, some chips, and brings a little drink with that. And she gives that man who's sitting there watching football some sandwiches, some chips, and some drink. That woman versus the other woman will be kept. That other woman, she's got some problems, and she don't know it. But she's got some problems. He's already in her mind thinking next stage. And I'll talk about next stage in a second. But the other woman who's taking care of her man because he wants to watch football, that's value to that man. You see what I mean? It's valuable to a man when he has to work late and you say to him, "Hey, honey, when you come home, I got you a nice warm meal at home." But let me clarify that. We're not looking for maids. We're not looking for you to stay home and clean the house. We're not looking for you to cook for us. We can go to restaurants and pick up some after work. We don't need you for that. We want value from you. Meaning, if I'm working late, show me that you care for me by providing food. I don't give a crap if you go to KFC and pick up something or McDonald's and pick up something. I don't care. Go somewhere, pick up some food, make sure it's warm. When he comes home, it's warm. Okay? Here's another thing. Value. Call that man up and say, "Hey, honey, I know you're working hard. Don't be looking at them chicken girls and all them little prostitutes out there. When you come home, I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry about them other ones. I got you. So when you come home, I'm going to take care of you." That's valuable. You don't understand. That is value. Looking sexy, that's not valuable. I can turn on porn to have somebody sexier than you. So looking sexy is not valuable. Helping a man while he's trying to enjoy himself after a long work of the week and he wants to watch a little football or some games and you bring him some sandwiches. That's valuable. He's working late. He's working hard and you prepare a nice meal. I don't give a crap if you cook it or somebody else brought it. Don't matter. Provide the damn meal. Value. Value is you provide sexual relations. So he doesn't have to go outside these other women. He'd rather be with you. That's value. That nagging stuff, that whatever you want to call that other woman, that first woman nagging, and here's how that is going to turn out. Okay, so that's 30 to 55. 55 and older. If the woman don't realize, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. A man, after he fulfills his obligation to the woman, Once the obligation is fulfilled, and if she has not messed it up until that fulfillment, he will then break up with you. Like for an example, a man will say to a woman, I'm going to be with you until the kids finish high school. Or I'm going to be with you until the kids finish high school and get into college. After that, I'm going to leave you. He will say that to his woman. If he doesn't say that, ladies, if he gets into his early 50s and start working out and start looking good and start what they call middle age crisis, that is not a middle age crisis. That is his preparation in leaving you. His next move is to leave you. And so when he hits 55, around 55 and going on, that man becomes value, see, to other women. And when I say other women, I mean from 12 years old all the way up. He is value. And so he's putting himself in a position. He's getting himself healthier. He's getting himself, because 55 and older, they're mostly financially fit. They have toys. And if they don't have it, they can get it. They have stuff. They have spiritual. They have academics. They have experience. They have all of that. And that converts itself into a woman's point of view as security. And so every woman from 12 years old all the way up is looking for security. So when you, who is now 45, 50, 55, and the kids and the obligation is they're grown, they're out getting ready to get out of school, they're getting ready to do their own things, they're out the house, and you are not value to this man, you are going to be alone. He's going to leave you. And if he hasn't said it, he's showing you. He's going to leave you. Now, on the flip side, a woman who brought him sandwiches in the beginning of the relationship, and she's still taking care of him. She's still providing a good, healthy lifestyle. She's doing the right thing with the money and providing a security with him. Money-wise, she's providing a good sexual relations to that point. She's providing all of these things. The kids are out of school, and him and her having good times, traveled together, had a good time together, raising the kids up. It was hard as hell. He wanted to kill everybody, but he didn't. And so he's done that, and she's still taking care of that man, and she's not independent. That man is going to retire with you and probably die with you. Not with you, I'm saying he's going to die with you and not another woman. So when a guy hits his 50 and mid 50 range, you ladies, if you don't have the value to that man, he's going to break up with you. And he's going to break up with you, especially if he has financial stability, especially if he's an academic guy, especially blah, 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 right? He's going to leave you. Now, here's where it comes dangerous. A guy like that, 55 and older, he's got something in his brain. And if he has that ability about himself because of technology, he realizes shit. For an example, okay, just an example, he realizes he can go to Philippines, pick out a Filipina, and here's how it works. A Filipina does not make it. She's not embarrassed by saying, I need you to take care of me, my kids, and my mother, my father, my family. There's no embarrassment. I need you to take care of my people. My people. Can you take care of my people? Can you take care of my people? And if he says, I got you, the whole family will look at him and say, he has the last word. That man who's taking care of us has the last word. And so therefore he can walk into that family and he can say, I like this. They're like, okay, cool, let's do. If he can say, I don't like this, they will change. They will make it work. Now, again, I'm just saying, there's always exception to the rules. Again, I'm just saying a typical man will go to the Philippines. The typical man will go to Thailand, Laos. He will go to China. He will go everywhere. Because the American European mentality is not there. I mean, it's starting, but it's not there. No, it's not there. So he can take his academics, he can take his finances, he can take himself, leave you. The kids are in college or wherever they're going, leave you and go wherever he's going. And when he gets to wherever he's going, he's got a 20-year-old. And the 20-year-old has value because now the 20-year-old can give him a baby. And the 20-year-old is willing to listen and give him the last word. And the 20-year-old has the family backing her up by saying, you better pay attention to that man. And that man is a good man. He's providing, he's taking care of her, and she is taking care of him. So, that is the perspective of a man. 30 to 55, he's only caring about himself, getting himself to that position. He's going to be with any woman who's willing to give herself to him. And he's not marrying no one just to be marrying. There's always a reason to marry. And if he doesn't find a value woman here in the United States, for an example, he will go outside of his culture. And not just go outside of his culture, he will go outside of the country to be with a woman and live in peace in his later years. Okay? So, 10 to 18, they're learning from mama. They're mama's boys. They're starting to become a man with no definition of what a man, a husband, a father is. 18 to 30, they're really getting into relationships, but it's mostly hormonal. I wouldn't understand. They're still trying to figure out, they're trying to figure out what these things are. 30 to 55, he's thinking, I'm not committed to no one, but I will be with someone. If a woman comes into his life and does the A, B, and C position, presents herself as a good woman, tells him, this is what I need. He says, I got you. And then she says this, I got you. And she then enhances her value over time. Over time, if things work out, again, there's no guarantees, but if things work out and he says you're still a valuable woman in his late 50s, you're going to be with him. If he says you're not a valuable woman, he will let you go because there's no commitment to this thing, okay? And so you have to provide value. And if you don't provide value, which is fine. If you don't, which is fine, when he gets to his academic self, when he gets to his financial self, when he gets to his confidence level, when he becomes valuable, he has from 12 years old all the way up, and he can go from other cultures, he can go to other countries. It doesn't make a difference. If a man gets into a position, he's going to go there. And while you're at home sitting, probably with kids or even without kids, playing the role of independent woman, at the end of the day, when you get older and your generation dies out, because all your kids say you don't need a man and those guys are not committed, but yet babies after babies, we have a society problem. And that's what we're having. So, I say all of this just to simply say, I think I got everything. Yeah. I say all of this to simply say, this is how a man thinks. If you take 100 men, 80% of them thinks like that. The other 20 are corrupt. They're no good. But how do you determine the no good from the good? You can't. You can't determine the motive because the motive is secret. They will lie, they can't lie, and there's no commitment to you in the first place. Okay? There's only a somewhat of a soft commitment while he's learning who he is from 30 all the way up. And that soft commitment is if you become valuable to him. After that, who knows? But anyway, so that's what a man thinks. And as a doctor who's been doctoring, counseling for over 23 years, I hope I soften it and brought it in position and presented in a way where we can all follow along with it. And I hope I brought some value to you guys. And if not, or if I did, let me know down below. If it's personal, DM me. Please don't put personal stuff down here. DM me. Okay? All right, guys. It's snowing, so I'm just sorry. I was looking out to the snow. I'm going to go and enjoy myself. This is the weekend for me. And you guys have a great day and night, wherever you are in this world. And we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.